In this video, I'm going to share the perfect diet for muscle growth, fat loss, and health all together. But why should you listen to me? Well, I didn't have great genetics. I started with just a pair of 2 dumbbells at home. It took me about 5 years to build my body. I made very slow progress, which actually made me learn so much more than people who made faster progress than me. All right. There are 3 parts to building the perfect diet. Number one, muscle growth, fat loss, and health. All right, let's talk about muscle growth. In this part, we're going to talk about the optimal meals and protein timing, optimal protein for muscle growth, intermittent fasting, and muscle growth. And we're going to see all. Now, optimal meals and protein timing. The main point is to train the right way for aesthetics. That's the number one thing, the key, right? If you want to build the aesthetic body, the V-taper body, or whatever, you need first of all to train the right way, which I'm going to cover in other videos that you can find on my channel. But in this video, we're going to address only the diet because it's a diet video. All right. But once you do that right, we want to keep the process of building muscle elevated throughout the day. And that's what we call muscle protein synthesis. Now imagine this: when you eat protein, no, let's put it this way. You wake up, you haven't eaten protein for about 8, 9, whatever hours, and you wake up and you eat protein. This is the level of the process of turning protein into fat, into muscle. Right? When you eat protein, you elevate this, and now you turn protein into muscle. Now you build muscle. Now after you eat protein, it's gonna start to go down. When you eat again protein, you elevate again. So what we want to do is basically to keep this process of building muscle, turning protein into muscle, elevated throughout the day. And we know exactly how many times per day you need to eat and all that stuff. Science shows that eating 4 to 5 times a day with protein is the best way to maximize muscle growth. So basically, in simple terms, just eat protein 4 to 5 times a day. If you eat 4, that's perfect. If you eat 5, perfect. More than 5 is probably not going to do anything. It's not going to get any more benefits on top of that. All right. The meal timing. This is important too. You don't want to eat one meal after you wake up and then one meal before you go to sleep. All right. Like I said, we want to keep this elevated throughout the day. So meal timing. Eat the first meal within 15 to 30 minutes of waking up with protein. The best way, the easiest way how I do it, I wake up and I drink a protein shake, a whey protein shake, because I'm not hungry in the morning, and this is what you can do. It's basically a cheat code. You just drink a protein shake, boom, you have 30-40 grams of protein there. But if you're hungry, I highly suggest that you eat. All right, you don't just drink a protein shake just for the sake of drinking a protein shake. I drink that because I'm not hungry and I enjoy it. All right, but if you wake up and you're hungry, just eat a normal meal with protein and all that stuff. Now, optimal protein for muscle growth. If you eat from all food groups and you don't cut off carbs, you don't follow a ketogenic diet or whatever, you don't cut off fats, etc., body weight in pounds, you take your body weight in pounds and then you multiply it by 0.8, and that's enough for you. If you don't eat carbs, the problem is when you don't eat carbs, your body will use some of the protein for energy. So you're not going to use all the protein that you eat for building muscle, but the body is going to burn some of that protein for calories. All right. So when you eat a lot of carbs, your body is going to take the carbs for the energy, only the carbs. All right. And then with the rest of the protein is going to just build muscle. So that's the point there. If you don't eat carbs, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is more than enough for you. All right. You can experiment to eat more or less, but these are the guidelines. All right. So a very simple example: if you are 170 pounds, then you need about 170 grams of protein per day. I know this is very basic for most people, but 170 grams of protein, not of actual food like meat. All right, because many beginners confuse this with 100. When I say 170 grams of protein per day, they mean they understand 170 grams of chicken. All right, no, 100 grams of chicken breast is going to give you about 30 grams of protein or so. So make sure you do your calculations there. Now, intermittent fasting and muscle growth. As I said, we need constant meals, all right? 4 to 5 a day in order to build muscle and to keep that process of building muscle elevated. Now, when you fast, you don't eat for a long period of time, because that's the point, all right? That's the purpose of fasting. You wake up and you don't eat, and then you start eating from, let's say, 6, and you eat until 8 p.m. All right, you have only a window for your eating. All right, that's not the best way to build muscle. All right, that means you are missing out on gains. So you can definitely eat, let's say, 4 meals in your window of eating, but if you go too much, let's say more than 4 or 5, let's say more than 6 hours in a day of not eating nothing, that's probably not going to be the best way to build muscle, right? You're not going to build muscle as fast as you would like. It is your choice. You can still do intermittent fasting and build some muscle there, but don't expect to build as fast as you could. All right. By the way, if you like this video so far, the full program is in the description with a bunch of bonuses. Click the link in the description to check it out, see what I have to offer. All right, let's go over the fat loss. Here we talk about the optimal diet and meals for fat loss and optimal cardio for fat loss. All right, we focus on fat loss. Now, the number one rule for any diet, and I mean any diet, it doesn't matter which diet you choose, it doesn't really matter. The number one rule for any diet to help you lose fat is to put you in a calorie deficit. And I have here a graph for you. So that means your body weight is here and your calories are here. If you eat for maintenance, your body weight is going to stay here. If you eat more than your maintenance, so basically a surplus, you eat more than your body needs to burn, your body weight is going to go up. If you eat less than maintenance, your body weight is going to go down. And that's the only rule for any diet to make you lose fat. If we know that, then you can create the deficit by diet, so only by eating less calories, or eating the same amount of calories for maintenance to maintain your body weight, but you exercise more, so then you burn more calories, so then you're still in a deficit, or doing both. Let's say you eat less calories and then you burn more calories, is going to put you in a deficit. All right. Now you need to eat all food groups. Do not cut carbs, do not cut fats or any macronutrient. All right. Each meal should have protein, carbs, fruits, and whole grains, and fats. All right. This is a tip if you're trying to lose weight. Add more fruits, veggies, and protein to your meals because these are low in calories and you can eat a lot and stay away from hunger. All right. I've never seen someone who got fat eating a lot of apples, all right, or any other fruit. All right. So try that. Now, the optimal cardio for fat loss. There are good reasons to start doing cardio. All right. You're going to train your heart. There are going to be more chances that you are going to survive a heart attack. You're going to burn more calories. You're going to feel better. It's going to help you with stress and everything. But I would start with 10K steps a day or 10K plus, or build to that. So let's say, for example, you start with 6,000 steps a day and then you slowly build to that 10K a day. And then if you don't like that, you can start to do 20 minutes of cardio daily on elliptical machine, because that's gonna burn the most amount of calories because you move your entire body. And do that every day, and each day you add 5 minutes, so the stress on your body is not a lot. And make sure if you use an elliptical machine or any other machine for cardio like a treadmill, make sure you put it on maximum incline, 15%, about 15%, or stationary bike or whatever. You can find there in the menu, if you click on the amount of calories that you burn, I think you're gonna see this word, the watts. You want your body weight in pounds to make, you want the watts to be at least your body weight in pounds. So if you are 170 pounds, you want the watts to be minimum 170. All right. That means you're gonna burn more calories per second. You're gonna use more energy per second. A watt is a way to measure how much energy is produced or used per second. All right, so make sure you follow that guide there to make sure you burn good calories. All right, if you're 200 pounds and you do 200 watts, you're gonna burn a few hundred calories. Now let's talk about the health. All right, and here we're gonna only talk about the gut health and junk food because that's mainly what we want. All right, from a healthy diet. Health is not specific. All right, so we refer to gut health. Number one tip: eat fiber. All right, for gut health, general recommendation I think is just to eat more fiber. And my rule that I follow every single day is to eat one fruit after each meal. So then if I eat 4 or 5 meals a day, I'm gonna definitely eat 4 or 5 fruits a day, which is good. Plus extra fruits before gym because I'm gonna get all the carbs and energy from them. It's instant carbs, is gonna be very, very nice. You're gonna have a lot of energy in the gym if you do that. And add in each meal, add veggies. All right, so make sure you add veggies, greens, all that stuff, like all the veggies. All right, and number two, try to reduce the junk food, because here's the thing: the junk food is basically more calories than the volume that they have. The junk food generally has less volume and a lot of calories, so they are generally very tasty and don't fill you up. So you will eat a lot of them and end up in a surplus because you're still gonna feel hungry. They're not gonna fill you up, and they taste very good, and you will want to eat a lot more of those. So try to reduce it. Try to add more fiber, more fruits in your diet, but do this gradually. Don't just uh, do a drastic change. All right. For some people can work this drastic change. If you think you can manage it, then definitely go cut everything out. All right. But if you think, yeah, I'm gonna struggle, make sure you do it gradually. All right. Now, here's everything that we've covered in this video. If you like this video, the full program is in the description. Go and click the link below right now.